Mount Vernon. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. Up there in Mount Vernon. Okay. So where do you get into acting in Mount Vernon? What do you do then? Do you come to Hollywood? What do you do?
Well, I was in it for a couple of years, and I was up there doing a comedy in a play.
Okay.
At the time, they were casting a dramatic film up there, and so the casting director came and watched me perform, and afterwards, I went down there and I said, "What'd you think?" And she said, "I think you're, one hell of a comedic actor, but I don't think you have the chops for drama." And
did she say maybe you should try basketball? Did she say Did she say that you didn't have the chops for drama? Oh.
I was a dramatic actor, so.
Now, does that hurt? Because I went through those, and it was terribly painful when you get fired or someone didn't like your work. Did that just shut you down at that point?
No, I just overcame it.
So where is she now?
I don't know her name. She might know mine now.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about the passion. How do you get this part? I mean, this is overwhelming. Okay, we want you to play Jesus. That is easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, I got a phone call from my agent telling me that Steve McAvity, the producer, wants to meet with you on a surfing movie.
Surfing movie?
Oh, yeah.
So apparently it was changed from the book. No. See, Jesus is in Malibu. Okay, so you go in thinking it's a surfing movie.
Yeah, so I'm having this conversation for a while with Steve McAvity, not knowing Mel Gibson was going to show up. So he shows up, and I immediately, got a bit nervous, and was a little bit more cautious in how I spoke, and then the subject started to change to the passion, and about passion films in the past, and I stopped him and I said, "You want me to play Jesus?" And he said, "Yeah." He wouldn't even look at me.
That's a good Mel. That's a good Mel. Give me more of that Mel. That's a good Mel. That's a very good Mel. Yeah, cool. Wow. Okay, so did you have it at that point, or you just discussed it? Did he say, "I want you, you got it," or?
Well, yeah, it was done. But the next day, he called me up, and he said, "Hey, Jim, this is Mel." I said, Mel who? He said, "Oh, Mel Brooks," and so I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just know you as Mel Gibson." And anyway, so we were talking about it, and he says, "You sure you want to do it?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "All right, it's going to be really hard." And he was talking about the Aramaic, the Hebrew, and the Latin languages. I said, "It's fine." And then at the end, he said, I said, "Oh my God." He said, "What?" He said, "My initials are JC, and I'm 33 years old." And he goes, "God, you're freaking me out."
Very funny. Now, did you beat out any other Jesuses? I mean, when you get there, is there a long line of Jesuses sitting outside waiting to go in for this movie? Or was he, well, you know what I mean? I mean, I've been to these casting calls, there's like a line of guys. It's like Survivor, those auditions, all Jesus is outside there. I mean, were you the first choice, do you know?
He told me that he saw the Thin Red Line, and that's what inspired him to do it.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's okay, so how does one prepare? I mean, you go home and you say to your wife, "Honey, I got Jesus."
Yeah, absolutely. I was overwhelmed, and so I began with walking on my pool twice a day.
Really?
I don't. Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll let Jesus win that one. Come back right after this. Welcome back. Talking with Jim Caviezel, starring in The Passion of the Christ. Let me ask you about Mel Gibson as a director, because when you hang around with Mel, he's like goofy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a goofball guy, and I see this amazing work that he does. It's hard to connect the two.
Yeah. Well, he's a genius.
Yeah.
I mean, and a wonderful human being.
Very intense as a director.
Oh yeah, but he's got a heart of gold.
Oh,
he's a very, very real man.
Yeah.
And but working with him is like waltzing with a hurricane. you never know where he's going to take you.
Yeah.
He's because he's such a brilliant actor, he can show you exactly what he wants.
Right.
And he doesn't have to, dialogue with you too much. And it really paid off in this film because we got, actors from all over the world on this, and the communication is difficult.
Now, you were injured quite a bit in this film.
Yes.
Weren't you? I mean, there's a scene where you're being whipped by the Roman guard. Well, tell people what happened there. You got hurt pretty bad there, didn't you?
It's a scene where I'm being scourged, and my hands are tied to this pillar. And during the take, the centurions, they come in and they hit you like this, and
Right.
then it progresses.
Right.
And but we didn't rehearse the progression, and so
I mean, are you wearing any kind of...
there's a metal sheath behind my back about a foot away.
Right.
And that would protect me, and I would react off
Right.
the sound. And then eventually, what happened was the Mel says, "Come on, get up." And he says, "If fur ain't flying, you ain't doing nothing." And he says, "I want you to come in and whack like this."
Right.
And so, but then he says, "Take a running start." And he goes, "Cricket, And so Europeans know cricket, and so you can't tell them baseball. And
Right.
so the guy wound up and hit the metal sheath, but it went over and hit my back. And I fell over, and the most bizarre thing happened is I couldn't breathe. It was so painful. The autonomic response was just, you lose the air. It's like suffocation.
Wow.
And I looked over at the guy and gave him a look and probably a couple of curse words, and I said, "Don't do that again." And within a couple more tries, he hit me. But the second time, I had a 14-inch gash on my back,
Wow.
and I fell over. I couldn't breathe, and the medic came in and started working on me. But at that point, then they had to move the mirrors to the front, and he had a camera here, here, and here, and he had mirrors, and I could then see it. And then they started digitally putting the whips in.
Yeah, okay. Now, you were also struck by lightning. Now, I mentioned this last night, and, I said, I don't have to be a religious scholar to know if I'm dressed up as Jesus and get hit by lightning, I'm gone, okay? I'm doing some other movie at that point. I mean, at what point did you say to yourself, well, this seems weird. Explain.
Well, I'm up there, and Jan Michelini, Lightning Boy, we call him, was in the back, and he'd already been struck by lightning.
Right there.
Yeah.
I don't even have to get struck. Just seeing him get struck. Okay.
And so I don't know what it's a phenomenon. It's like being in the eye of a storm. And there were about 3 people close enough to me, and their eyes lit up. And at that point, I knew I was going to get hit. Well, of course, your hair starts to go up in the air, and you look like Bozo the Clown. And I got hit. And I remember looking up, and I said, "My God, you didn't like that take?" And actually, I did say, I'm not making that up.
Now, you got hypothermia as well, right?
That's correct. We were...
Because you're outside, and you're wearing a loincloth, and it's winter.
Yeah. We were on a 1,000-foot cliff. It's like going to the Grand Canyon and sticking the cross right at the edge of the cliff. And you see all these people in parkas. And you had 30-knot winds coming up. And I also separated my shoulder. And during the crucifixion scene, the cross kept moving back and forth, and it kept jarring my shoulder out. I couldn't eat. The hyperthermia was making me absolutely nauseous. The thorns was killing me. I was hyper-focusing. And with all that going on, sometimes even Mel left me up there on accident,
That's no accident with
Well, there
Mel.
was a dummy. Yeah, I had a bad day. You just leave me up there. We had an actual dummy. I mean, we had a dummy, but we really had a dummy.
Right.
They would use this robotic dummy, and I think sometimes he thought, "Oh, God, it's the other dummy. I'm sorry."
Yeah, right, wrong dummy. Now, what is this clip we're going to see? This is this is in the garden again. This is a very powerful scene. This needs some setup. Explain what's happening here. Do you know which clip this is?
This is me, and Judas is coming up to him, about ready to kiss him and betray him.
And they're coming to take you away here, essentially. Okay, let's take a look. Great job. Congratulations, Jim. Just a wonderful, wonderful job. Very